How's it going, everyone? It's Juan here from SwitchWatch, and I'm back with another review. I hope you're all having a great week and a great weekend. I've got a game called Crayola Scoot here today, and let's get straight into this one and see what it's like. In terms of this game, I wonder if up at Nintendo Towers they thought this may be what Splatoon 3 could look like. Maybe they could find a new way for characters to move around the arenas in a differing way by adding rollerblades, BMX bikes or scooters, as in the case here. Well, someone has beaten them to it because Outright Games have done just that. Thank you to them for providing the review copy. This is a mixture of Splatoon-esque Splatfests and tricking it up at the same time, Tony Hawk style. But this game, is it any good and is it worth your hard-earned cash? In terms of the gameplay in Crayola Scoot, it's a simple concept, and if you've played Splatoon, you'll understand what you need to do here. There are a number of arenas that pit you against other AI players, and the aim of the game is to fill the arena with more paint than any of your opponents. So far, so Splatoon, but where it mixes it up is you also have to perform tricks, Tony Hawk style, to release paint with your scooter in arenas which have all manner of ramps and rails to pull off tricks to your heart's content. And all feel great actually. The more tricks and risks you take, the more paint you release. And if you want to get from one part of the arena to another quickly, you must ride your own paint, and it's totally thrilling. You can boost, perform tricks, which consists of flips, jumps, spins, and combining all of these together with grinds to keep your combination going for some massive scores. I have to say, the game surprised me in how accessible it is and how fun it was to play. I went into this expecting very little, but I was instantly grabbed by its fun nature. Now, there are a vast array of modes here, and if you decide to purchase this game, you'll each have your favourites, but mine were definitely trying to paint more of the arena than your opponents in a single player versus all. This has a decidedly amount of strategy involved also. The more tricks you perform, the more ink you spill your ink on a tower, and it unloads a massive amount, covering a large area for you constantly. Keep control of these towers and ink will continue to spill in that particular area in your colours until another player takes it over, making these towers very sought after. While the AI is okay to play against, it's so much more fun if you can get 3 or 4 friends round to play in split screen. Well, how about teaming up in a 2v2 battle, which can also be done locally with a couple of friends versus the AI or each other. You have a mode called Scoot also, which each player takes in turns to perform the best combination of tricks within a few seconds, each player losing a life represented by a letter of the word Scoot when they fail to beat their opponent's combo. There's also a Splatfest mode where the goal is to splat the opponent, or where this is reversed and you have to avoid being splatted. There are also a good number of worlds to choose from, and you'll unlock stars dependent on whether you choose to play the level on easy, medium or hard. Play on hard, for example, and if you are successful within the challenge, you gain the full 3 stars, and the more stars you can unlock, the more levels will open up to you. Moving through the worlds and levels keeps things fresh, having differing modes to play through as you progress. And one level you may have to paint the town red, while in the next you may have to perform tricks to beat your opponents. The game can be played locally up to 4 players, and it's really accessible also for a younger audience and adults alike. There are also lots of coins to collect, and the more you get, the more gear you can buy, ranging from nicer looking wares to gear which has an effect on your stats. It's all here and superb fun. There are some criticisms though, like when you take on a level and finish, you get kicked out into the practice hub where you can enter the shop, choose multiplayer mode or just practice, but I would have preferred to just continue on until I was ready to come out of those levels. The right analog stick is also used for jumps and tricks, which I found just took me a little while to get used to. I wish this had an online leaderboard to post my scores onto and an online mode. Sadly, it doesn't. In terms of audio, the game is all very chirpy, it's very inoffensive. It's not standout, it's quite generic, but it serves its purpose. Moving on to visuals and performance, visually I like the game and would say it's reminiscent of Jet Set Radio in terms of paint, well, Splatoon. And if you know any of these games, then you'll know what you're getting here. I found it all to be nicely designed, looks bright and colourful on the Switch, and it's definitely a notch or two above in quality from a mobile game which was ported. In handheld it runs really smoothly, and I never encountered any slowdown either in docked or in handheld. Split screen also runs very well, which is great news. Yes, the fidelity takes a dip, but it's nothing to be concerned of. The game is $29.99 and can be bought as a physical copy. For this, you get a decent amount of modes to play, and while not all are great, the ones which are enjoyable are very good indeed. You can play these modes locally with friends, and there is enough items in the shop to buy. There's also plenty of levels to play, and hard mode is challenging to say the least. For this game to really have an almost limitless value though, there needed to be online leaderboards and the ability to play with friends online, maybe in the sequel. In terms of my verdict, I had a fantastic time, and while there will be those who say it's a Splatoon clone, there is a lot more here to keep you entertained, and it's a game that stands in its own right. Pulling off tricks and landing them while spraying paint all over the place never felt this good. I didn't give Crayola Scoot a hope, but it was an absolute pleasant surprise and a game every family should check out. I wonder what a game like this with a massive marketing budget behind it would have achieved. Instead, this slipped nicely under the radar and it deserves your attention. This one then, a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, guys, then please hit that like button, would really appreciate that. And if you're new here, then why not consider subscribing for gameplay videos and reviews like this one. Also, let me know what you think of the game in the comment section down below. I'll also leave the link for Amazon in the description below. If you're thinking of purchasing this, please purchase it from that because it will help us out a little bit. My name is Juan from SwitchWatch, and I'll see you again on the next one. Take care.